The government shutdown crosses the 2-week mark, the fight to save women's sports takes a big legal win, and Trump offers the president of Argentina a hand ahead of crucial elections. I'm Georgia Howe with Daily Wire executive editor John Bickley. It's Wednesday, October 15th, and this is Evening Wire.
The government shutdown continues. Senate Democrats voted again today to stop a Republican plan to reopen it. Democrats, led by Chuck Schumer, are refusing to vote for the stopgap bill. That's unless it includes an extension of expiring Obamacare subsidies. They warn that health care premiums could spike on November 1st. Meanwhile, Republicans are accusing Democrats of stalling until after this weekend's planned No Kings protest in Washington.
The Supreme Court is hearing a case today that could change the way congressional districts are drawn and could impact next year's midterms. The case, Louisiana versus Calais, centers on the claim that a Louisiana voting map overly considered the race of constituents and violated the Equal Protections Clause of the U.S. Constitution. Section 2 of the 1965 Voting Rights Act blocks electoral maps from reducing the influence of minority voters. If the court rules to overturn this provision, state legislatures would be prevented from considering race when redistricting.
The legal fight to save women's sports isn't over, and Idaho just scored a major victory. Daily Wire reporter Megan Basham has the details.
A federal judge has rejected an attempt by transgender athlete Lindsay Haycox to drop her own case challenging Idaho's ban on biological males competing in women's sports. Judge David Nye ruled the state deserves its day in court, accusing Haycox of trying to dodge Supreme Court review. Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador hailed the ruling, saying it's a win for fairness based on biological reality. The case, Little v. Haycox, now heads toward a historic Supreme Court showdown that could redefine women's athletics nationwide.
The Trump administration has offered a lifeline to Argentine President Javier Milei to protect the libertarian leader ahead of key elections. President Trump hosted Milei at the White House on Tuesday to finalize an agreement to shore up Argentina's economy ahead of the country's midterm elections, set to be a referendum on Milei's free market reforms. Ahead of the dinner, Trump said that he was taking action to save Argentina from Peronism, but if Milei's coalition fails, the United States will retract its offered financial aid.
We're going to work very much with the president. We think he's going to win. He should win. And if he does win, we're going to be very helpful. And if he doesn't win, we're not going to waste our time.
During the White House visit, Milei gifted Trump a gold-framed letter nominating the U.S. president for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Milei isn't the only one pushing the president's nomination. The Speaker of the Israeli Knesset, Amir Ohana, has partnered with House Speaker Mike Johnson on a campaign to build support for a Nobel Prize for Trump. Ahead of Trump's address to the Knesset on Monday, Ohana lauded the U.S. president as a, quote, giant of Jewish history.
You, President Donald J. Trump, are a colossus who will be enshrined in the pantheon of history. Thousands of years from now, Mr. President, the Jewish people will remember you.
Johnson echoed Ohana's sentiments on Tuesday.
We're going to embark upon a project together to rally speakers and presidents of parliaments around the world so that we will jointly nominate President Donald J. Trump for next year's Nobel Peace Prize. No one has ever deserved that prize more, and that is an objective fact.
Violence continues in Gaza as warring factions vie for control. Following the withdrawal of the Israeli Defense Force under President Trump's landmark peace deal, Hamas re-entered the area and has been reclaiming control from families and militia groups. Trump said today that he would consider allowing the IDF to resume military action in Gaza if Hamas does not adhere to the deal. Trump told CNN that Israeli forces could return to the streets, quote, as soon as I say the word. Trump also said, quote, what's going on with Hamas, that'll be straightened out quickly. Check dailywire.com for updates on the latest as the situation develops.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will make his third visit to the White House this week to discuss additional U.S. military support for Ukraine. Daily Wire reporter Tim Pierce has more.
According to reports, the talks will focus on Ukraine's request for long-range Tomahawk missiles and to bolster its air defense capabilities. On October 12th, President Trump said he may have to warn Moscow that continued refusal to engage in peace negotiations could prompt the United States to supply Ukraine with long-range missiles and other advanced weaponry. The Kremlin, which previously downplayed the potential impact of Ukraine acquiring such weapons, shifted its tone following news of the upcoming White House meeting, calling any potential missile deal a matter of extreme concern. As the conflict grinds into another year, President Trump's patience for stalled peace efforts appears to be wearing thin.
Visas for some who cheered the death of Charlie Kirk have been revoked. The State Department says it pulled the visas of at least 6 foreign nationals who celebrated the political icon's death. Officials say that includes some citizens of Argentina, Mexico, South Africa, and possibly others. State Department officials said, quote, "The United States has no obligation to host foreigners who wish death on Americans."
The DOJ says it seized a staggering $15 billion in Bitcoin from a global pig butchering scam. The agency says it's the largest forfeiture in U.S. history. Federal prosecutors charged Chin Ji, a Cambodian tycoon known as Vincent, accusing him of running crypto fraud compounds where trafficked workers were beaten and forced to scam victims online. Ji's Prince Holding Group allegedly pulled in up to $30 million in a day, laundering stolen crypto through secret wallets. The FBI says the bust marks, quote, "one of the largest financial fraud takedowns ever." Ji remains at large.
Retail giant Walmart has announced a partnership with ChatGPT, allowing customers to purchase products directly through the AI chat platform. Daily Wire senior editor Joel Needler has more.
The collaboration marks a significant step in the growing integration of artificial intelligence into everyday life. Since the emergence of consumer-facing AI, analysts have long speculated about its potential to disrupt traditional business models and daily routines. With this partnership, AI appears to be transitioning from a helpful novelty to a fully embedded part of commerce and lifestyle. As part of the deal, Walmart will reportedly share shopper data with ChatGPT's parent company in exchange for integration on the platform. Given Walmart's vast retail footprint, such data is among its most valuable assets, typically closely guarded. The company's willingness to share this information underscores the strategic importance it places on AI's role in shaping the future of retail.
In a shift from recent trends, new data suggests that the number of young people identifying as transgender or non-binary has declined sharply. Daily Wire senior editor Virginia Kruta has the latest.
According to findings from the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, FIRE, which surveyed more than 60,000 undergraduate students across the United States, the share of respondents identifying as a gender other than male or female has fallen by nearly half over the past 2 years, from 6.8% in 2022 to 2023 to just 3.6% this year. The decline appears most pronounced at elite universities, where some campuses reported drops of up to 70%. While the reasons behind the shift remain unclear, analysts point to a mix of cultural and political factors, including evolving public attitudes toward gender identity and heightened debate over related issues, such as women's sports and public accommodations. Whatever the cause, it appears as though this trendy social contagion may be heading toward remission.
A father accused of killing his daughter's rapist is now running for sheriff, saying the system failed him. Aaron Spencer admits he shot 67-year-old Michael Fossler after catching him driving off with his 14-year-old daughter, the same man already charged with grooming and assaulting her. Now facing second-degree murder charges himself, Spencer says his campaign is about restoring justice. His wife calls him a hero who saved their child's life. Spencer's trial begins in January, but until then, he's fighting in 2 arenas, the courtroom and the ballot box.
A Manhattan man says New York's justice system nearly got him killed after a repeat subway slasher attacked him at random. 32-year-old Dimitri Marshall, an ex-con with 7 prior arrests, allegedly slashed the man's face outside the East Broadway station on Monday. It comes just weeks after Marshall was freed on supervised release from, you guessed it, another knife attack in the city. Marshall is now being held without bail on felony assault charges.
The U.S. Army announced a new initiative earlier this week that would power its military bases using small, portable nuclear reactors. The effort, known as the Janus program, aims to reduce reliance on traditional power grids by transitioning bases to micro-reactors by 2028. An Army spokesperson noted that dependence on existing grids leaves installations vulnerable to weather disruptions and cyber attacks, while the compact reactors can deliver a steady, independent power supply no matter what, 24/7.
And an iconic American car brand is shifting production back to the U.S. Big 3 automaker Stellantis announced Friday that the Jeep Compass will be manufactured in the Midwest, despite plans to make the car in Ontario, Canada. The carmaker promised to add, quote, more than 5,000 jobs at plants in Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana. Stellantis, based in Michigan, also aims to invest $13 billion over the next 4 years to grow its business in the U.S. The carmaker described this as the largest U.S. investment in the company's 100-year history.
Those are your drive home updates this evening. To learn more about these stories, go to dailywire.com. And in case you missed it this morning, we covered some major stories, including Trump honoring Charlie Kirk with the highest civilian award, Letitia James going on the campaign trail as new accusations are leveled against her, and we unpack the UK's digital ID controversy. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow morning with another full edition of Morning Wire.